Rahul Goel is a person who lives his values. Instead of taking his space company to the US, he's made a conscious decision to stay in Canada to build our domestic capabilities. Listen to why this was important to him on this NSP Short.
I think it's due to a lot of reasons. Like one of them definitely was that after my trip around the world, for lack of a better phrase, and coming back to Canada and really like falling in love with Canada again after being away from it and sort of treating it as a stepping stone, and then thinking about going to the US or wherever, but then coming back and really loving this place. I think sometimes we got, when you miss something or you're away from it and then you get it back, you have a new appreciation for it. So that sort of kickstarted it, if I were to sort of, what was the genesis of that? But as a kid, I've always been, always been in love with the Canadian brand. I think it's been great. But over the last couple of years, part of it, I think there's a bit of a responsibility around it as well as a Canadian, where I feel like we've sort of lost touch a little bit, or some of that Canadian pride has been diluted a little bit, and a bit of an overcorrection might help. So that's why, whether it's at Nordspace or myself, I've been very vocal and very excited about being Canadian and demonstrating why it's important to build in Canada and stay in Canada and invest in Canada and hire in Canada and all of that. Because I just think that that's necessary right now. And I consider it my responsibility as a citizen of this nation to step up wherever I'm needed, when I'm needed. And in this particular aspect, I think demonstrating why being Canadian is important is needed right now more than ever. Now, this is just my opinion, of course. Many people might disagree with it. That's my observation. The other thing is, I just think from a business opportunity standpoint, if I were to just look at it that way, I think it's great. You have an opportunity to be number one, first to market here in Canada. It's a great country with tremendous population, incredibly talented workforce, and passionate individuals, vast lands and natural resources, beautiful culture and rich history, and it's ours for the taking, and to leverage and to appreciate and to be good stewards of. So whether it's with Feedloop, my event software business, where we're kind of the one maybe two companies in this area, and most of our customers are Canadian, we're able to sort of corner this market, and it's a large market just in Canada alone. It's great. Same with Nordspace. We may be the only Canadian rocket company, but that being the one and the only, it's still a great business opportunity, I think, versus being in the United States, where you're among a sea of others, and then you have SpaceX and all these other massive companies that you're competing against. So just from that standpoint, yes, it's a smaller market, but you can own kind of the whole market. I think that's great. So if I were to just look at it selfishly as a capitalist from that reason alone, I think if you can find that niche in Canada where you can own it, it's a great business opportunity as well. But I think it goes back so much further than that. This is my home, and I love it, and I want to make sure I contribute to the growth of this nation.